salt the fruit. I paint pictures with my words, tangled thoughts and fears. GrowingGames.com, Rory Favreau. Tangled thoughts and feelings.
Hey there guys, welcome to the Growing Gamers podcast. My name's Tory Favreau. I hope this finds you well. Haven't been doing a show for a little bit here because there's been a lot of other stuff going on in the world, and I just thought there was, probably a little bit more polite to give that a chance to run its course, which it hasn't. We've got COVID, we've got Black Lives Matter. For all of you out there that have been impacted, affected, and I think the whole fucking world has been, look, I'm with you, I support you, and I do think it's something that's well worth paying attention to around the world, regardless of where you live, what colour skin you've got. But I thought it was time to do a show because I hadn't done one for some time, and I basically wanted to go back and revisit a subject that I like, and as you guys know, it is none other than the fucking banger. Now, in case you haven't listened to the show before, you've got to realise I talk about new games as I come across them. I also talk about older games. Now, today's show is about a fucking banger, an old one that I slept on, one that's brought tears to my eyes, joy to my heart, and really, I've enjoyed it greatly. Now, I think I can hear in the background, yes I can hear my, well, now housemate, but Ash Brooks, who you've heard on the show before. I was lost at what to play, and he's like, you've got this game fucking Titanfall 2. And I'm like, yep, I have. And he goes, you've got to play it, it's amazing. And I've had that game for a very long time, and I was looking for something to play pretty much before The Last of Us 2 comes out on Friday. And so I started playing this game, and I must admit, I've fallen in love with it. I am disappointed. It's a very short campaign, but at the same time, it would be one of the more satisfying single-player campaigns that I've played in some time. Now, the original title, Titanfall, was multiplayer only, and then I don't know what happened, but they put out a campaign. There was a story. Okay. Now this story is about a young. Oh, he's not a pilot. There's pilots and mechs. Okay, and he's not a pilot, but through circumstances beyond his control, he ends up piloting a massive mech called BT. Now, the first thing that I fell in love with was the fact that BT sounds like Optimus Prime. Anyone who knows me, fucking Transformers for the win, or Peter Cullen for the win in this particular case, but it's not voiced by Peter Cullen. The relationship between Jack Cooper, pilot, and BT is phenomenal. There is so much humour, there's tragedy, there's love. And yeah, I will call it that because even in the very short period of time that you play it, like I think I might have played the campaign for between 10 to 12 hours, and that was me dragging it out a little bit. But I've heard of people doing it in a lot shorter time than that. The bond between robot and man is phenomenal. They've done it perfectly. The game, even though I think it's 4 or 5 years old by now, looks like, what was that? 2016. I don't know if you can hear Ash because of the way the microphone's set up, but we will be getting him on the show as well to talk to you guys again because it's been a very long time. And I think I actually do want to go through at some stage, Ashley, with you, the video we saw about the PlayStation games, what our thoughts are and other bits and pieces. But this is Titanfall for now. It's not going to be a very long show, but I just wanted to get something new out there for you. So the game is basically, you got the militia, you're in the militia, so, fucking rebels fighting against the evil galactic empire, but not Star Wars, and look, the bad guys have made this arc device. It basically folds things inside out, or big explosions do ensue, and you've got this mission where you have to retrieve the arc and basically stop it from blowing up the home planet, the main moon where the militia is at. If it fucking sounds like Star Wars, it's not. Okay, it's not Star Wars. The place takes you through several environments, and the really cool thing is, as you go through the game, you can upgrade BT's abilities. He finds weapons on the go. I will keep going on about the relationship between man and fucking robot in this case. It's just superbly done. The motion the way you control BT is very similar to how you would actually control Jack, except for the fact you can't wall run. You can wall run. Now, those of you may have played it in Call of Duty. I fucking hated wall running in that piece of fucking shit game. I know all the fucking young kids loved it, and yes, maybe I'm showing my age and inability to fucking flex on it. Okay, Boomer. I've been called Boomer a lot because I fucking trolled the Xbox controller, as some of you may have seen, and people got riled up. And it's funny, you know, because my YouTube channel is essentially a piece of shit that very few people view. Yet, my stupid thing saying that the Xbox controller, the one from Cyberpunk, looks like a piece of shit, it's been viewed hundreds and hundreds of times. It makes me laugh when I look back at it. I had fun recording that particular that video. It was good fun. It was just good fun fucking talking smack on an inanimate object. But I have seen it in real life, and I still contend it looks like a piece of shit. Anyhow, I digress. Titanfall 2, the control for BT is phenomenal. Like, it handles like you would almost handle a person, but somehow, I don't know how they've programmed it so well, you do feel like you're moving around a massive, colossal mech with really powerful weapons. However, the gameplay is balanced out enough. Of course, you do fight other mechs and other robots, so that balances it all out. But otherwise, the general feeling of power, especially when you have to take on squads of human or humanoid or creatures as BT, you just fucking trounce them. However, the rest of the game is nicely interspersed with periods where you're playing first person as Jack, and then there's moments when BT will say, I suggest you get on board, and he'll scoop you up in his hands and put you inside the cockpit. And it's weird because you think like BT is pretty much sentient. It must be a learning AI. I'm making shit up. Maybe it's not, but it feels like it is. And the machines bond themselves to their pilots, and they have like 3 main prerogatives. And, you know, it's basically, you know, just get the mission done and look after the pilot. And I can't remember, you know, link with pilot, uphold the mission, protect the pilot at all costs. And that relationship is where the game shines, because you honestly do feel as though Jack is being looked after by BT. And there are heartbreaking moments in the game where characters are affected, and you care about them already by this point. I haven't really felt that in a game so much ever since, you know, well, ironically, The Last of Us Part 1, where there was a character that I just went, oh, wow, you are amazing. And BT, because you see Jack, it's not you. You can't fucking face map or do any of that shit or change stuff around to make it look more like you. But you like Jack because the humour in it is funny, and he's endearing as a character, and you can make choices in your dialogue, so you can make him a little bit more uncertain, or you can make him all brash and cocky, depending on what you want to play the game like. And BT will respond to you based on that. Like, they have, you know, choose your own adventure style, choose the dialogue, conversations together. But the way the action is scripted is just second to none. I've got absolutely no complaints with any portion of that. When you do see even the rendered scenes of BT fighting, like you may have fallen out of the cockpit or you're making your way up and he's defending you, and you're overwhelmed by just how amazingly animated this robot is, and just how fluid the fighting is, even as a mech. Now, one thing I did note though, when BT is fighting and you're not piloting, he is a lot more fluid. I guess they can do that because it's just, you know, sort of scripted or animated. But it's just a thing of beauty to behold. The game itself looks gorgeously amazing. Like I said, it holds up against anything that they're putting out today on the PS4. It absolutely shines. It was something I'm so glad I was put onto to play. It is something that has a multiplayer component as well, which at the moment I've got no fucking interest in. So I didn't play the multiplayer. So therefore, no platinums for me. But it was absolutely beautiful to have a game that I could go through and finish in a relatively short time. And that was the aim of me knocking it over. Ash was like, you'll really enjoy this game. However, you'll get it done pretty quickly if you just want to get a game out of the way before you do get into The Last of Us. And I didn't expect to be as entranced by the game as I was. I do love mech games. One of my my favourite mech games. It's old school as how it was done by Monolith back in the day. I played it, I believe it was on PC, Shogo Mobile Armoured Division. Don't even, well, you can look up YouTube if you want. It does it no justice. You've got to remember back then 3D was still a very new thing, and it was like, fuck me, I'm a fucking mech. I am a fucking mech. And, you know, the feeling of being the mech and sort of transforming to a vehicle mode in it, it was sensational. This trumps that big time. Because there's actual story, you know, your mech is an interactive AI that does deal with you, does deal with your enemies, keeps you safe, you keep him safe, and it's a very beautiful symbiotic relationship that, you know, the game finishes way too soon, but the story is written in such a manner that even though you're like, I just want to explore more of that universe, and I guess through the multiplayer you can, you are still satisfied at the end when the credits roll because they've done such a good job. It is a complete story. So you're not like, well, they fucking cut that off and I don't have any answers or there's no real end. There is a definitive end to it. And, you know, it is a thing of beauty indeed. Of course, certain things happen during the game where you do wish that maybe there'll be a TitanFall 3. And who knows, you know, Respawn, the guys who did it, maybe they will put out a new game at some stage. But for now, it's a complete story. It's a satisfying story. And look, it's on the PlayStation store in Australia for $6 fucking dollars. So I'm sure it's going to be that cheap everywhere else. If you want to play it digitally, you can still get it. It's $6. And it's worth... It would be like, you know, taking into account the shortness of the game, it would still be worth $40 brand new, in my opinion, if that's all you had to choose from, a brand new copy and it was $40. I'd still say go get it because it's worth every fucking cent. In any case, that is my fucking banger. What constitutes a fucking banger, if you haven't listened before, is basically value for money, an older game that is just absolutely rad and worth every cent of your money. In any case, if you want to get in touch with the show, please do. You can email the show, thegrowngamers@gmail.com. Find us on the Facebook page, The Grown Gamers Podcast. And, of course, you can find the YouTube channel. Just type into YouTube, The Grown Gamers. You should find me or something that looks like me on there. Until next time, which will be extremely soon this time, guys, because the games are ramping up again. I'm Tori, and thank you for listening. I do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.